Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Asyhadu an la ilaha أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونستنصره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله سبحانه فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. فأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له شهادة الحق، شهادة تطهر قلوبنا من الفسق والعصيان، وشهادة تنجي قائلها من عذاب أليم. وأشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا وقدوتنا في الأمور كلها محمدًا عبد الله ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه الذي أرسله رحمة للعالمين ليخرج البشرية جمعاء من ظلمات الكفر والضلال إلى نور الإيمان والهدى. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحابته وكل مسلم تبع هداه واستمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. وبعد، فيا عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل، فقد فاز المتقون. فقال عز وجل في كتابه الجليل: وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى واتقون يا أولي الألباب. ثم أمرنا قائلا: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم وصانا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال: اتق الله حيثما كنت وأتبع السيئة الحسنة تمحوها وخالق الناس بخلق حسن. Ma'ashara al-Muslimin, my dear respected brothers and sisters, we begin by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the Almighty for this moment and for every time, for every moment. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our life. But more specifically, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our faith, for our iman and our Islam. I used to say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala include us among those who are minority. And who are the minority? Allah says, وَقَلِيلٌ مِنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. Very few among my servants are thankful. So we may be among those who are minority, the small, who are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the meaning of thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Islam is taking this deen, al-Islam, comprehensively. And I mean, as every one of us is dreaming to die instead of being Muslims, and say, وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ, die not except instead of being a Muslim. The only way to do that when we take Islam seriously and comprehensively. And it means we must follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا ادْخُلُوا فِي السِّلْمِ كَافَةً. Enter into the follow Islam completely. Now what does it mean? It does mean that we have to take this Islam in the masjid and outside the masjid. In the month of Ramadan and the rest of the months. In Mecca and in New York or in Houston. Because oftentimes, and this is one of the dilemma that we are facing at the moment, we are so good as Muslims in the masajid, but the moment we leave the masajid, we become someone else. And this is very problematic in our life. It becomes double standard in personality. This is the first one that we have to take seriously as a part of that appreciation or thankfulness to Allah, being Muslims. What's more important is that we must change our mindsets towards al-Islam. From being, as many Muslims misunderstand, that this deen has been given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us how to die. We must change this to otherwise. In fact, Islam has been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the guidance to live our life and not to die. And inshallah, if we live according to Islam, bi-idhnillahi azza wa jalla, we are going to die according to Islam. And how it is possible for us to die being Muslims if you don't live our Islam according to Islam? So actually, the most important focus for us is we have to focus on how to follow the guidance of Islam in living our life. This is Deenul Hayat. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu istajibu lillahi wa lirrasul idha da'akum lima yuhyikum. Not lima yumitukum, lima yuhyikum. O believers, fulfill Allah's invitation and His Messenger when Allah and His Messenger invite you to what gives you a life. Or what is giving a life? Islam. Brothers and sisters, this is just the beginning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in many places in the Holy Quran describes the believers. In many places in the Holy Quran. And it is repeatedly mentioned in different places. Allah gives different descriptions about the believers, characteristics of the believers. For example, in Surah Al-Ahzab, ayah 35, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والقانتين والقانتات إلى آخر الآية. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the descriptions of the believers and repeatedly mentioned in the Quran? Number one, because Allah wanted to make sure that claiming to be a believer is not only a claim, but there is something that you have to improve. And that is about characteristics, sifat. But the question is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions repeatedly in the Holy Quran. There are two purposes. Number one, because it is a reminder. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we wanted to emphasize on something, He often repeatedly mentioned in the Quran. So it is a reminder from Allah that in order for you to be considered believers, that you have to have such characteristics. And He mentioned that repeatedly. But what's more important, why Allah repeated in the Holy Quran, Because in each place of the Holy Quran, there are certain contexts that Allah wanted to convey to all of us. For example, in this ayah that I just recited to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to emphasize that when it comes to the deen, male and females are equals. إِنَّ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَالْمُسْلِمَاتِ وَالْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ وَالْقَانِتِينَ وَالْقَانِتَاتِ. When we come to the deen, to the religion, male and females are deeply, highly equal in Islam. You can be a male and good Muslims. But there is no guarantee simply because you are male, you are better than our sisters. You can be a woman and you can be best Muslims. Now some of the young people ask this question, how about our sisters who sometimes don't pray 7 days or more than 7 days? They don't do it because they follow the instruction of Allah. They don't do it because they follow the guidance of Allah. You pray not because you want it, you pray because you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our sisters do not pray for certain days because they obey Allah. It is about obedience. So both sides are being rewarded and honored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is not the reason that they are making the answer simply because they don't praise for certain days. But some people try to to rationalize the deen according to their own mindset. But let me, in this very humble khutbah, brothers and sisters, I wanted to mention some characteristics of the believer that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions towards the end of Surah Al-Furqan. And there are at least 15 descriptions in Surah Al-Furqan. But I'd like to mention only in the first ayah of it, in that characteristics of the believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. And the servants of the merciful are those who are walking in the land with humility, humbly, with humbleness. And if the ignorant people address them, they will respond, Salama, peace. In this short ayah of the Holy Quran, verse of the Holy Quran, in fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us 4 main descriptions of the believers. The first one is wa'ibad. Wa'ibad الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم المؤمنون قالوا سلاما. 4 descriptions. Number 1, وعباد. Wa'ibad is among the descriptions of the believers. Because we are considered the servants of Allah because we have that attitude of ubudiyyat. And ubudiyyat actually is the highest level of titles Allah has given us. Because ubudiyyat actually is the service to the basic mission of human's life. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. And that's why, brothers and sisters, in the Quran, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned al-'abd, in fact, that is the most respectful and honorable, dignified way of calling any servant. Any servant. Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Holy Quran, sometimes is called Nabi. Ya ayyuhan Nabi, qul li azwajika wa banatika ila akhir ayah. Sometimes it's called Rasul. Wa ma Muhammadun illa Rasul. Sometimes it's named by names 4 times in the Holy Quran. Muhammadur Rasulullah wal ladina ma'ah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even called him more abd in the Holy Quran than any other title. And particularly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called him as abd when that word abd is related to something dignified or noble or respectful. For example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala using the word abd to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا. Supposedly, نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ رَسُولِنَا. Because Al-Quran is risalah. But why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instead of saying نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ رَسُولِنَا, he says نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا, because the word abd is most honorable. Subhanallah asra bi'abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-haram. Why Allah called Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam here as abd when he took him up in heaven? Because this is a very honorable journey to meet the honorable one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even in the Holy Quran, brothers and sisters, you can imagine this one, and this is the most important point I'd like to underline here. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called the sinners, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word ibad. And he tells the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. O Muhammad, tell my ibad, all my servants, all my honorable, dignified, beloved servants. Who are the servants here? Those who transgress the bound. Those who goes beyond the bound. Allah say do, you don't. Allah say don't, you do. That's transgression of the bound. Still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called them as ibad. قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا. Those who transgress the bounds. لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. Do not despair from the mercy of Allah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا. Allah forgives all the sins. So here, the first characteristic of the servants of Allah is ubudiyyah. And we must prove it. They were ibadullah azza wa jalla. By commitment, with the commitment to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The question of what is ibadah, what is ubudiyyah? Our life. Every aspect of our life is ubudiyyah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's what distinguishes us from others. Because for us, from the morning until night, night to morning, nothing else but worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You go to your bed and you say, Bismika Allahumma ahya wa amut. You're worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You wake up in the morning and say, Alhamdulillah, tahyana ba'da ma amatana. You're worshiping Allah. You begin your food by saying, Bismillah, Allahumma barik lana. You're worshiping Allah. Alhamdulillah, ladhi at'amana. You're worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing else but in our life but worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the first characteristic of the servants of Rahman. Number two, brothers and sisters, Allah then connects the word ubudiyyah, ibad, into Ar-Rahman. The most important characteristic of Allah, and the most repeatedly mentioned in the Holy Quran, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't say, wa ibadul khaliq, wa ibadu Allah, for example? Why Allah specifically chose the word Ar-Rahman? Because Allah wanted to say that when I am Ar-Rahman, you have to have this attitude, you have to have this behavior, you have to have this characteristic and description. So who are the Ibadur Rahman? Those who have compassion. Those who are compassionate. And that's why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is rahmatan lil alamin. He himself is the representation, not only representation, but he himself is the mercy of Allah to all humanity. Rahmatan lil alamin. Because that is the most important essence of our faith. It is the heart of our faith, having mercy, having compassion in our life. And that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once he kissed his grandson Hussein and Hassan. And according to the tradition of the Arab at the time, that you have to be tough to your kids to be considered respectful and honorable. And he said, this Arab Badawi, "Atuqabbil ya Rasulullah?" And he said, yes. And he said, I have 10 sons and I never kissed any one of them. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah yarham la yurham. The one who doesn't have mercy, Allah doesn't have mercy on him. Irham man fil ardi yarhamka man fis sama. Have compassion and mercy on those who are in the land, Allah will have mercy upon all of you. Mercy, brothers and sisters, is the beginning of the journey of our life until the end of it. Even we will not, none of us will enter into the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Rasulullah sallallahu told his Sahaba that none of you or none of us will enter into Jannah without the mercy rahmah of Allah, the Sahaba say, Ya Rasulullah, hatta ant, even you? He said, even me. Even me. I will enter only into the Jannah of Allah because of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because he became the prophet, it's out of the mercy of Allah. He became the mu'min because out of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything is based on the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the second characteristic of the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having the mercy and compassion of one another. Connection that we have as believers, brothers and sisters, actually as human beings, it is based on mercy. That's why in the Quran Allah says, Muhammadur Rasulullah وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ أَشِدَّاءُ عَلَى الْكُفَّارِ that رُحَمَاءُ بَيْنَهُم. Connection between individuals of this ummah is based on compassion. Our relation is heart relation. Yes, we have some blood relation. Came from the same tribe, came from the same ethnicity, came from the same national background. Nothing wrong with that. But what is more important for all of us as believers is heart connection. And that's why it's called Silatur Rahim, connection of Rahim. Brothers and sisters, this is the second characteristic of believers. The third one, brothers and sisters, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. Those who walk in the line with humility. Now what is humility, brothers and sisters? It's not weakness. It is not being inferior. Humility means acknowledging that there is Al-Aliyu Al-Kabir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And none has the right to be arrogant. Arrogance, but the one who is creating it, the one who created is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually reminds the believers that we have to be humble enough. And that is an acknowledgement of the existence of the High, Al-Ali and Al-Kabir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who has arrogance, even just the smallest atom in the heart, will not even smell the smell of paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Now, brothers and sisters, but what is arrogance? Arrogance, according to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is batrul haqqi wa ghamdun nas. It is about rejecting the truth and underestimating others. And we have to be very careful, brothers and sisters. Actually, this deen will never be connected with arrogance. The more we feel that we are religious, supposedly, the more we are humble. Imagine Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once he amazed his own wife because he woke up every night praying tahajjud. So his wife asked him, Ya Rasulullah, why all this? Why all this, according to our language? And the answer is not because I am the most righteous one or I am the best Muslim or mu'min, but he said, أَفَلَا أَكُونُ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Shouldn't I be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So the more we feel that we are blessed with Iman, we are blessed with Al-Islam, Alhamdulillah, we must even feel more humble in the sight of Allah and in the sight of one another. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen us. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله واستغفروه لعلها ساعة إجابة. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله لا نبي بعد صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Now the last characteristic that Allah mentioned in this ayah, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. And when the ignorant people address them, they respond with salam, peace. Now once again, being peaceful doesn't mean that we are weak. Being peaceful means we are showing strength. We are showing confidence. And that will make us peaceful. Now brothers and sisters, we talk about this thing, everything is about peace. Everything is about peace. From our aqa'id, matters of the deen, it brings us to peace. Peaceful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah is as-salam. As-salamu al-mu'min. It's a peace. With our iman, we feel peace in mind. Our ibadat that we do, brothers, yes, it's obligation. But the purpose behind this obligation is to feel peace in our life. كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا حصله أمر أسرع على الصلاة. When Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم has a challenge in Islam, he was not panicking. He came directly to Salah because he wants peace, he wants tranquility. He will not panic. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our greeting to one another is peace. And even the Jannah itself is Darus Salam, is the abode of peace. So everything about it is peace, brothers and sisters. So let me just mention this one. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically mentioned Qalu Salam of peace here? Because Allah knows we are going to face challenges. And as Muslims living in America, and as we are entering into political season, political campaign, once again we are coming back to the same situation. We are going to be deeply challenged. People are going to talk about many things about this deen out of ignorance. This presidential candidate, they are going to talk about Sharia without any knowledge, without any proper understanding, and they are going to define our deen with their own definitions. What we have to do as Muslims, salama, peace. What does it mean peace? It is not only standing on the minbar and say peace and salam, no, but by our action. Continue being peaceful to your neighbors. Continue being peaceful to your friend, to your co-workers. Inshallah, they are going to change their minds. There is the da'wah, brothers and sisters. In the Holy Quran, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about da'wah, what He says, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. And one of the most important righteousness is showing your friends what does it mean to be Muslims. With our smiles, with our character, with our humbleness, to everyone around us. That's what peace. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is our role model. Imagine that that man was a blind beggar. They insulted everybody and he said, be careful of that Muhammad. Because there's a man called Muhammad who is magician, who is divisive, who is sahir, magician, majnoon, crazy in the city. He divided people. And you know the story that one day Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed by him and he heard saying something, hey man, be careful of Muhammad. So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to him, possibly shook his hand and asked him, what is the most beloved food to you? And he mentioned. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went back to his home, he asked his wife to cook the food. Not only that he came back to bring the food to him, but he fed him. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam continued to do this, feeding him, until Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, alayhi salatu wassalam. Abu Bakr Allahu anhu saw that and he wanted to continue what Rasulullah used to do. He went to his wife and asked him to cook the food. And he brought the food to him and he began to feed him. And that man took his hand. And he said, who is this? Abu Bakr said, what happened? He said, the man who used to come to me first is different from you. Who are you? And he said, what happened about the man who came to you before me? He said, that man is so gentle, so kind. And you know, brothers and sisters, the most gentle, the kindest among the Sahaba was Abu Bakr Allahu anhu. But he himself witnessed the Prophet Muhammad is so gentle. That is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is the peace that we need to prove to our neighbors. Not by fire speeches on the member, but more importantly, brothers and sisters, showing them Islam, not only telling them Islam. In the workplaces, on the street, in market, everywhere, showing them what does it mean to be Muslim. And that is the meaning, وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. And he says that we are among the Muslims, not by words, but by action. That is the meaning of showing them. And that is the way to respond to the ignorant people around. Believe me, that just Muslims are Muslims. In their behaviors, in their attitude. Inshallah ta'ala, we can say we are challenging CNN, we are challenging Fox News, we are challenging NBC by our action. And American people are rational enough to see that these people are more to be believed than CNN and Fox News. But we need to challenge ourselves to be peaceful and show them what does it mean to be Muslims. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. Allahumma ameen. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Hamdan yuwafi ni'amahu yukafi mazida. Allahumma rabbana lakal hamd. ولك الشكر كما ينبغي لجلال الشكر الكريم وعظيم سلطانك. اللهم اهدنا واهدنا واجعلنا سببا للمهتدى. اللهم ارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك ويا مصرف القلوب ثبت قلوبنا لطاعتك. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ولذكر الله أكبر وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا صووا صفوفكم. تراصوا اعتدلوا سد الخلل. Stretching the lines, fill up the gaps. صلوا صلاة المغرب. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. زين للناس حب الشهوات من النساء والبنين والقناطير المقنطرة من الذهب والفضة والخيل المسومة والأنعام والحرث ذلك متاع الحياة الدنيا والله عنده حسن المآب. قل أنبئكم بخير من ذلكم للذين اتقوا عند ربهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها وأزواج مطهرة ورضوان من الله والله بصير بالعباد. الذين يقولون ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. فإذا جاءت الصاخة يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه وجوه يومئذ مسفرة ضاحكة مستبشرة ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة ترهقها قترة أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Friends and sisters, I have three announcements today. I'm quite excited about this announcement, so please, stay just 5 minutes to listen to all of them. First announcement is that we are currently doing a fundraising for Morocco, for our brother and sister in Morocco and Libya. So please download the Mystical app. It's available for Android and Apple, and you can donate your help there. And also, Khatib today's Sheikh Dr. Shamsi. He's an imam from New York, and inshallah, this evening we are going to have halaqah with the Sheikh, and Sheikh will discuss about how as a Muslim who's living in a progressive society like the United States, what we need to do in order to build a better society, to improve our life, everybody's life. And here, Dr. Imam Shamsi Ali here, broke several stereotypes. Usually for Indonesia, he's an Indonesian. Usually for Indonesian who going to school abroad for a religious school, usually they go to either to Egypt or Saudi or any country in the Middle East. But the Sheikh here went to Pakistan and get his bachelor over there. And then he went to Saudi to teach for a couple of years, and then he came here to the United States. And the second stereotype is that he is the imam or director of Jamaica Islamic Center in New York. And if you know Jamaica, there's Bangladeshi community there. So he is the imam of the Bangladeshi community in New York. So inshallah, please be with us here in the evening. At 6 o'clock we are going to have dinner, and we are going to have the halaqah after Maghrib. And the third announcement, I hope Professor Craig Considine is still here. Are you here, Professor? Oh, he's in the back. Yeah, we have a guest, Professor Dr. Craig Considine. He's a professor of anthropology at Rice University, and he authored several, in fact probably around 3 books about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I can probably call him, a friend of Muslim. And to honor our guest, I would like to invite Dr. Craig Considine to say hello and maybe say a few words, inshallah.
Peace be with you all. Imam Shamsi, Istiqlal, thank you all so much for opening your doors and welcoming me. This is my first time here. I've been in Houston for 8 years, but this is a lovely space. Imam Shamsi, who I've known since I was 22, I'm 38 now, if you're curious. I was carrying out research with Ambassador Akbar Ahmed. He's the former High Commissioner from Pakistan to the UK. And we were traveling the length and breadth of this country, studying Islam in America. We traveled for a year. We went to over 100 mosques. And our question was, what does it mean to be an American through the lens of Muslims? That was our research question. And when we were in New York, Imam Shamsi was the director of New York's biggest mosque on 96th and 3rd in East Harlem. And I was directing a documentary, and I was 22. And I was so thankful that someone like Imam Shamsi treated me how he did, with respect, You know, I was a nobody. I arguably still am. We all are, I guess. But Imam Shamsi, you talked today about what it means to be a believer. And I want to share some insight here on this, because I obviously believed in you when I first met you. And as they say, first impressions are really important, aren't they? So what does it mean to be a believer? I may not pray the same way that you do. I was raised Roman Catholic. I'm of Irish and Italian descent, and I'm from Boston. I often tell people I had no choice. I was definitely going to be Catholic. I may, when I need a scriptural reference, I may not go to the Quran. I go to the Bible. Instead of praying in a holy space like this, I go to a church. But that doesn't mean I'm not a believer, even though I'm Catholic. Because when we talk about belief and we talk about faith, it's actually bigger than religion. It's about human principles and human values. And I wrote some of these down, taking notes like a good student would when Imam Shamsi was talking. Universal principles that transcend religion include righteousness, respect, humbleness, integrity, peace, justice, honor, service, mercy. In other words, Rahman Rahim. You may know, as the gentleman referenced here, that I've written books about Prophet Muhammad. Masjid in Medina, he didn't just open the door and say, come in. He made them feel like they belonged. He was hospitable. His other quintessential teaching, as a Catholic, I have to believe in, is the oneness of humanity, racial equality, and this idea that diversity is actually our strength. That's what it means to be a believer, to see strength in diversity, to value the cultural richness of where people might be from. So in short, one of the reasons why I identify myself as a believer, even though I'm Catholic, is because I see all those values in spaces like this. And through my relationship with Imam Shamsi, it's not just about the books, it's not about the theories, and it's not about the history. If you don't live the message, then what are we doing? And this is true across religion. So in short, it's my honor to be here. I hope to come back. It's a lovely space. Imam Shamsi, thank you so much for being such a good role model. And thank you all. I wish you a beautiful and lovely holy day. I hope your prayers are answered. Peace be with you all. God bless you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.